Yo, what's up, traders? So, weekly outlook video is going to look a little bit different this week because I'm driving to home for the holidays, or to Nashville from Florida, back to the cold. So I'm sitting here thinking about, the group and why traders are struggling, and really risk management and trade psychology, which is the number one thing. And most of the people that I talk to and we mentor, like, I can go ahead and tell you what I believe is going to happen in the market this week. Markets are pulling back. The dollar is getting some strength, and we're going to see a potential selling opportunity. This is what my game plan on dollar CAD, probably around like Monday or Tuesday. Of course, we have Thanksgiving Thursday, so it's a holiday week, so it's a little bit different. Looking for a little bounce on UJ, which will then provide a selling opportunity. And then for gold pulling back right now, and so temporary dollar strength followed by weakness, at least from a technical standpoint. I mean, politically anything can happen right now, but that's what it looks like to me. But even though, like, despite me saying that, the number one thing traders struggle with is confidence in being able to execute, right? So, like, with the signals I send, I joke about it sometimes, but it's 100% true. I could send 100% winning signals to the group, and people would still figure out how to lose. And the reason that is because they don't have confidence. Like, you don't have confidence in your ability to execute on trade, and really to where you sit down at the computer for whatever trading session, maybe New York session, or maybe you wake up super early, you're like, dude, I'm doing it. I'm gonna get up. London session, 3 a.m. and I'm gonna crush it. And then you sit down and you're like, all right, I kind of got it. Things start going against you, and then maybe you have one or two good trades, or things starting to set up, and then it goes completely against you, and the thought comes in like, damn, I've been doing this for 2 years, I still don't know what I'm doing. And I know, because I've been there. I know that feeling. And you're following all kinds of different people, maybe subscribe to different telegrams, and this just hurts your confidence in your ability to trade, right? So, like me, I don't follow any telegrams, any signals, anything like that. There might be a couple fundamental things on Twitter I might tune into, but I have my system. I have the way I perceive the markets, and this is exactly what I teach. And because of that, I'm confident in my ability to be able to watch the markets and see things set up. And even when they go against me, which obviously happens, then still being able to, it's not like I go look for a YouTube video for some confirmation, or somebody else's signal channel. I watch what's going on and stick to my program, right? So this is super important, and so many people just jump from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And I talk to so many people that hit me up that we talked, like a year ago, or 2020, into 2020, they're like, man, I'm back. Yeah, I went to so many different people and just got ripped off. And somebody messaged me the other day and was like, man, you're still here doing the same stuff, because that's what it is that I have to offer is, consistency. And the reason I'm offering consistency is because that's exactly what we're doing, right? And so now, especially with my bot and the EA that can, you don't have to be able to be a monk that has the perfect discipline with risk management. Once you understand risk to reward and can let go a little bit, even for myself, that's the reason I made the thing, because I needed to do that too, and need to, and still always working on that. But that is the reason I make it. So I made it, so I have the way to, I can see the markets, and until you really get to that point, it's going to be a super difficult and probably unsuccessful ride. I know I always talk a lot about funding in here, but really what I need to talk about is getting you to where you feel like you're confident in the market, and that when you can sit down, and even when it's going against you, which it will 100% do, not 100% of the time, but that's going to happen, that you can still stay grounded and stick to your game plan, right? And so by also having some EA and indicator and some automation and ways for you to really stay consistent with your risk management, this is how you will end up getting funded, right? But if you're just trying the same stuff over and over and over again, and shooting against the wall or throwing spaghetti against the wall and see if it's going to stick, you're just wasting your money and your time. So it was a long road for me. I had to find a mentor, but now it's sitting down. I have the way I like my charts set up. I always set them up a certain way. I like to call this giving myself a home field advantage. Until you give yourself a home field advantage, you're going to be the away team on the market, just drugged from city to city to city, just getting wiped up, So until you start to make a home field advantage for yourself to where you understand what's going on and you have your system and the way you see things and your perception, that's what you really need. Once you get that, and that's exactly what I teach, So and then once you get that dialed in, learning a way to implement an actual tool that can take the human element out of it, taking the human error out of it, because I know that, and especially after seeing seeing the back end, seeing great traders. We have some funded traders now, we're getting people with some payouts, but I've seen some really awesome traders lose their account, and it's not because they kept picking the wrong trades, it's because, the human element got in their way, right? So having a tool or tools that will be a hedge against that, man, it's a game changer. It's a game changer for me. I shared some posts last week about that. Other success people are having with that. The reason I keep talking about this is because I know people are struggling, and you're struggling, and you want to make this happen for yourself, but for whatever reason you don't. You just keep trying to do the things you do, and there's a system that works, right? And if you can follow it. So that's why I keep talking about it. It's like an injustice on my part not to share about what it is that we're doing and going on and how you can actually win doing this. So I'm getting to a place where you're actually confident, where you have confidence is number one. And then number two is having tools, using tools, getting the instructions on them, so we can take you, the human element, that despite the fact you can pick winning trades, you somehow manage to continue to lose, taking that out of it. So then you're just picking a bias and leaning on the risk to reward, having a positive risk to reward. And not going to have 100% win rate. It just doesn't work that way. But we just need to get you to where you're comfortable with 60% win rate, 70 would be awesome, and having a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk to reward, but then being consistent and staying doing that. You know what I mean? So that's much easier to say, but if you're just trying to figure it out on your own, the only thing you're going to be doing is saying it, because you're not practicing it, because you're not consistent, and because you haven't stuck with one thing long enough anyways, because you keep going from one thing to the next YouTube training or whatever, when it's like, how many years do I have to send it? Just always improving, but how many years do I have to keep sending signals where I demonstrate the exact same setup pretty much every time, and 120 pips, 20 pips, 40 pips, that clearly it works, and it's not like I'm switching things up. It's pretty much the same setups. Like I said, it's just getting more dialed on my end, but the exact same concept. And I'm demonstrating it to you, but it still blows my mind. People that have access to all the materials, and I can see on the back end of like their the trainings and what people have been through, and they've been through like 20% of it, and they're still asking me questions, right? So you got to be willing to put in the work. So, but once if you're willing to put in the work, we're going to get you to the point where you're actually sit down, open up your computer. You don't need me, you don't need signals, you don't need Telegram. You can be wherever and have confidence in what you're looking at. Once you have confidence with what you're looking at and some tools to help take the human element out of it, then we can actually do this for you. So let's crush it this week. We got Thanksgiving. I'm not sure on the data side of things, but it's going to be a good one. Be careful towards the end of the week. Obviously, Thursday and Friday going to be dead, and there's going to be a lot of trap moves. So be careful of that. Remember, let's get you to the place where, don't you want to sit down and be like, dude, I know what I'm looking at. I don't need clay. I don't need any of this stuff because I got this. That's the point I want to get you to. And once we get you to that, give you the tools so you can manage your risk to reward and risk management, and then knock it out of the park and getting funded and scaling capital, then that's a real possibility. So let's have a great week, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this mindset, risk management talk, and getting you in the right trade psychology to really go out there and crush it, and get some freedom in your life, make it happen. You've been trying this for years now or months, and you're like, I know this can work because I've seen it work for other people. Why isn't it working for me? I just gave you the blueprint, right? So if you want to learn that in depth, click the link below, and let's have an awesome week, everybody. Peace.